Quite a lot of time has passed since the release of episode 67, so a lot of different theories have appeared that we need to discuss. And now, tune your consciousness to the vibration of my voices, and we begin. Greetings, my dear viewers. Pyramid on air. Subscribe to the channel and hit the like button to speed up the release of the next analytical video. In this video, you will find out what's inside the secret laboratory. Is Skibidi scientist really a fake? How did the Titans survive and how long will they last? You will learn this and much more by watching this video to the end. First of all, I want to thank all my fans for their loyalty. I really appreciate each of you. But now, many viewers watch me without subscribing. I would like to reach 100,000 subscribers with you by the new year. Therefore, be sure to subscribe to the channel so as not to miss the most interesting things. On this channel, you will discover the most unusual and mystical theories about your favorite universes. I assure you, you won't regret looking at everything through the eye of the pyramid. Let's go. The base. So, my dear friends, we have clearly approached a very important and strategic facility. All external architectural signs indicate that this is a very serious laboratory base. This could be a military base, but most likely it is a scientific base. The logo with a genetic spiral on the door tells us this. The size of this laboratory determines how large a product can be developed within its walls. Do you think the size of the threat depends on its scale or not? Write your theory in the comments. In my opinion, in some cases, the size of an invention affects its strength. If we look at the geographical location of the laboratory, then we can understand that there is a possibility that the laboratory is built into a large mountain. This means the height of this laboratory is very impressive, but we can also assume that this laboratory is located deep underground. The depth here is already regulated according to completely different laws. Also, these two options can be intertwined. That is, the volume of the laboratory can extend both up and down. Sometimes this knowledge is very important before making a strategic attack on an object. Well, let's pay attention to the entrance to the laboratory. It's quite small. This means that no significant or gigantic object can come out of the main entrance to the laboratory. Well, let's think about it. Why do we still need these huge square toilets built into a stone mountain? I dare to suggest, according to one theory, that these are special exits from which the newly developed toilets will fly out. Yes, of course I understand everything. There is a possibility that these are just decorative elements. Is it worth spending so much energy resources to create such decor? Most likely. When it comes to military action, we rely on the logic of practicality. This means there is a high probability that these structures will be used for military purposes. The only way a decorative theory can exist is that the author of the series simply used such large objects to emphasize the importance of this location. By the way, did you notice a small glare near the laboratory gate? These glares are very similar to sparks from a machine gun fire. We can assume that this is pure coincidence. But still, this doesn't look like some kind of visualization glitch, especially considering that a secret agent appears nearby. Perhaps he is trying to use telekinetic energy to break the lock of the main gate. Well, sparks clearly appears not at the panel that opens the doors, but at the fence that encloses the territory. More likely, Mr. Dafouk in this way wanted to hint at the importance of entry. By the way, think about the fact that the Titans cannot penetrate such a small passage. Therefore, in any case, the help of the Alliance team will be needed here. In addition, please note that on the territory of this vacancy, there are huge tanks. What do you think is in these huge tanks? I have an assumption that a large amount of radioactive acid is produced there. Well, or at least it is stored. Remember, at the beginning of the episode, we can see small rooms with a control terminal. So I assume that this is a control terminal for servicing acid tanks. It is likely that this could also serve as a dangerous trap for the Titans, because if you blow up these tanks next to the Titans, then they will really have a very, very bad time. In any case, this laboratory is a very important place. If we consider the theory that this laboratory belongs to a Skibidi scientist, what exactly do you think he can invent there? Perhaps this is some new giant monster. But it is also possible that there is a TV race laboratory there. You can watch more about this in my previous video. Well, what about the Skibidi scientist himself? Is he real or not? Let me tell you in detail a little later, so subscribe to the channel and watch this video until the end. The Titans! By the way, what about Titans? How were they even able to survive such a terrible attack? As I said earlier, I love doing analysis when all the short versions of an episode come out. So if you look at the short version of the 67th episode, then in the description we will see an inscription that says the following: "It got serious now." That is, we understand that this tells us that there is a very high risk that we may lose one of the Titans. By the way, pay attention to the music that is present in the short version of the episode. This song by the famous group Depeche Mode. By the way, look closely at where Titan Speakerman hid his knife. And in general, pay attention to how severe their damage is. The Speakerman Titan has his right leg pierced through, the cannon on his left arm is missing. He lost this cannon in episode 65. There is a large fragment sticking out of his right hand. Iron reinforcement is stuck in his left thigh. The sound column on the left side is damaged, and on the right side too. Because of this, most likely he cannot fully create a powerful sound wave. The cameraman Titan also has quite a lot of damage. He suffered a lot more. His central camera clearly works much worse. His core is seriously damaged, and most likely, he will not be able to use energy plasma fire against his opponents. His right wing has been torn off. This means that he simply cannot fly. I think this is one of the worst damages. Also, his energy shield is missing on his right arm. The cameras located on the shoulders are destroyed. The gun on the left shoulder is most likely damaged and disabled after the attack by the Skibidi Mafia. Also, his body is pierced in quite a few places by large fragments of metal. His right hand is missing. Of course, he was able to build himself a new saw there. Well, the correct functioning of this device is highly questionable, and at any moment this saw can turn off and start working. Therefore, I repeat once again, the Titans have only one chance to survive. This is to hold on to each other. This is exactly what the author of the series wants to emphasize to us with the song, "Never Let Me Down Again." The scientist.
But let's get back to the Skibidi scientist now. A theory has spread widely among my fans that this is not a real Skibidi scientist. The most important argument used in this theory is the red right eye and the scar on the right eye. Well, let me try to consider another theory. Let's assume that the Skibidi scientist is real. How can this be proven? Here, look. What is the point? Back in the distant 10th episode, Holy Toilet Eyes turned from normal to red with anger. Also in episode 51, we could see a Skibidi toilet with red eyes, but it is impossible to say for sure whether he had ordinary ones. What am I getting at? Skibidi toilets can change their eye color from normal to red. This most likely happens when they are very discharged or excited from battle or the anticipation of battle. By the way, the TV woman has very strong intuition. Most likely, this is why she was very frightened by the appearance of the Skibidi scientist. I feel that he is in super aggressive mode and is ready to destroy everything in his path. By the way, what about the scar under the eye? If you look closely at the movement, you will notice that this is not a scar, but a shadow from glasses. Because if you turn on the animation, you can see how the shadow moves. Well, what's really alarming is his black claws. This can truly be a differentiator. Therefore, I do not reject the fake theory in any way. It is likely that the real Skibidi scientist is still very small in size, exactly the same size as we saw in the very first episodes. And all other versions are just controlled robots. By the way, red eyes. Maybe because the scientist uses some kind of special serum. Or turns on berserk mode using the remote control located deep in the laboratory.
I have a dream to collect 100,000 subscribers. I'm sure it's not difficult for you to subscribe to me. Be sure to watch my next video, and may the force of the pyramid be with you.